Hello and welcome to another episode of How to Learn Excel through a live project. So, in our previous video, we learned about how to implement data validation. And we learned about how to implement numeric validation as well as how to implement the data validation for restricting our user to select the data only from a list which is available with us. So let us continue with our learning and let us enhance our expense tracking application by implementing the new concept called VLOOKUP. Let us proceed. Let us start by opening our expense tracking application, which we have been developing until the previous session. So right now we have in our expense tracker tab, we have created the serial number, we have created the date, and we have created a data validation for expense head, as well as we have one column called payment mode, and we don't have anything to do. So let us start with implementing the data rule or the data validation for the payment mode. So the similar to the data validation we have implemented for the expense head through the expense head table. So we are going to create a new validation to select the payment mode from the payment mode table. So without much ado, let us just proceed by going to the data validation and selecting it as a list, and then let us select the payment mode table as our data validation list, and you press OK, and you have the the options created for selecting the payment mode from the existing list. So as we have explained in our previous video, let us copy this formula and paste it until this with the paste special option to keep only the validation. So now we have in our expense tracker application, we have the serial number, date, expense head, payment mode, as well as we have an option to enter the amount. Now, what I need is as soon as I selected the payment mode, if I'm going here, as soon as I select the payment mode, I want to know what is the payment type for this particular payment mode, as well as I also want to display what is my associated bank account. So the thing is, as soon as I select the payment mode, I want these two to come in this particular table. So how can we implement that? So let us start. I will create two more columns here. So this I want the payment type and the associated bank account. Let me copy these two so that I don't need to type it once again and paste special and copy only the values. So if I am pasting it here, assume I am copying these two and going here and paste. So Excel will not only copy the value of it, but it will copy everything, the associated format, the associated font, the background color, everything will be copied here. But I don't want, I just want the value. So let me redo this by using the undo button, and then I will say paste special and copy only the values so that my format is already available. I just want the text to be copied here. To find the payment type against the payment mode what we have selected, we are going to learn a new concept called VLOOKUP. So let us open a new sheet and learn the VLOOKUP first, and then we will come and implement that concept in our expense tracker. Let us assume I'm having a simple table called serial number and a day. And the day I'm keeping it as Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Then let me just drag it here until Saturday. And for every day, I'm giving a serial number or a day number called 1, 2, 3, and I'm keeping it up to 7. So this is a table which I'm going to use as a source for creating my VLOOKUP formula. So a VLOOKUP is used to find the matching value from a list of from a table based on a key value. So now here I'm writing something called 1, 5, 8, 7, 3, 2, 1 again. So this is against this number. Here I want to find what is a corresponding day. So for that, let me use a formula called VLOOKUP. So I will type equal to and I say VLOOKUP, and then I need to fill this parameter value. What is the lookup value? What is a table array? Column index, number, everything. So let us open this formula editor here to know it much better. So this gives you a very clear understanding of how we can use the formula. So what is my lookup value? The lookup value is the data against which I am going to find the result. So my lookup value here is in column C5. This, my lookup value is in the cell C5. Just go and click your cursor, click your mouse here, then automatically it will select and it will come here. And next is the table array. So that is the data from where I'm going to find the matching value. So I will select this. So my table array is from, you can select the header row or not select the header row, doesn't matter. So our data starts from row number 6. So I can start row number 5. So I can make it as I5, not a problem, to J11. And then what is my result data, in which column it is available? So this is the table. So this table has serial number as column number 1 and the day as column number 2, and I want to find the day. So my column number is 2. So let me put it as 2. And then I need to select whether I want to find the exact match or a closest match. So I always want to find the exact match. So I'm going to say this is false. And if I'm pressing here, so the corresponding value from this table will be found and it will be displayed over here. So now if I copy here and I press 5, so for 5 the corresponding day value is Tuesday, Thursday, so that will be displayed. So can I copy for everything? Yeah, you have one problem which we need to rectify, because if you look at these values C5, I5, J11, everything, they are all having a relative reference. But so if you look at this, when I'm keeping it in the first value this Sunday, the formula is, if I press the F2, it is finding C5 from the table called I5 to J11. So you are able to see the border here, and then it is finding the column number 2. Similar way, if I go here, if you see, it leaves the first row and it goes from the second row because we are using a relative reference. So it is always better to have an absolute reference for your table. So I say I $5 and J $11, and then I'm copying this formula. Let me copy this formula and right click. I can either paste everything or I can use only the formula. If you look at for both the things, it is using the same table data. So now if I copy this and paste here, everything will work fine except for day number 8. For the day number 8, it is giving a not applicable symbol. Why? Because we have data only up to 7, and for the 8, for 8, we don't have a relative data. So that is why it is not coming. So this is wrong. So let me change it to 6. So what if you want to find another column instead of column 2? So let us see how we are going to do. Let us create a fictitious data. I say to do, and on Sunday it's a holiday. I'm not going to do anything. On Monday, go to office. On Tuesday, go to bank. On Wednesday, take off. On Thursday, visit my friend. On Friday, chill out. And on Saturday, go to market. So this is my plan. Okay. So let me just format it for a better looking sheet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do here, I'm going to find my to do day. This is day number. Just make it just make it look better. So here, based on my day number, I'm going to find what my activity is. So let me create yet another VLOOKUP. I'm doing it here. Again, I'm selecting my day one as my lookup value and then say comma, and I'm selecting the entire table from the first column to the last column. So this has columns as 1, 2, 3. So this is my column array. And what is my corresponding column index? It should be, because I'm going to find to do. The column index of to do is 3. Serial number is 1, day is 2, and to do is 3. Okay, so I did a tick. And say again, once again, I'm selecting false and select here. So it has come automatically. Let me do a correction. It is to do, not to. Okay. Now in the same line, once again I made absolute reference for my row. And if I copy this again or stretching it, so the corresponding to do activity are coming to the picture. Let me delete all this formula and show one yet another thing. Now my serial number is unique as well as my day also is unique. So the to-do list, I can, instead of making my serial number as a reference, I can do it for the day also. In that case, what is the change happening? So I'm doing again, VLOOKUP. I'm going to select day as my reference lookup value, and then I'm going to select the table array as column J to column K, and then now my column index is 2 because my table is having only 2 columns, is 2, and then I say it is false, then also it is working. So one thing you need to note is, like we look up from the table array, it will always consider the first column as a reference column. So if you are going to do a VLOOKUP with VLOOKUP of, suppose I'm keeping it as Sunday as my lookup value and selecting this table including the serial number, and then if I say the column index is 3 and say false, it won't work because from the look table array it will consider the first column as the reference column, and you need to be aware of it. I hope we are all clear about how to use the VLOOKUP. Now let us go directly to our expense tracker to implement the payment type. how we will do it. In a similar line, I'm going to do a VLOOKUP, and the lookup value here will be my payment type. And next I'm going to the table array. Here the only difference is that the table array is in a different sheet. So I'm going to the payment mode and I'm selecting all these three columns, my payment mode, payment type, as well as associated bank account. And I'm selecting my payment type is the second column. So I'm selecting second and I'm selecting false. So automatically my payment type will come. So if I'm having more number of data, I can drag and drop provided I'm keeping my table array with an absolute reference. Okay. In the similar manner, we can find our associated bank account also. So let me type VLOOKUP. Once again, my lookup value is payment mode and say comma. Again, I'm taking my table array from column B to column D and giving a reference absolute. And now my column index is 1, 2, 3. So make it 3 and make it false. Now my associated bank account also is coming. Now let me just copy all these things and paste up to here all the validation. And for this, let me copy here for payment type and associated head. Let me copy and paste special the formulas. Okay, now it will come as not applicable. We will find how to retrieve that when we are using the formulas for finding the if condition. So for now, let me say 2. I'm entering today's date. I'm selecting one expense head as newspaper and the payment mode I'm going to pay by cash and automatically my payment type and the associated bank, since it's a cash, it's coming as cash. And I just say 200 rupees a dollar and entertainment expense, for example, $10. This is $2 I have made. Let me make it as a currency. Yeah, you have it. Thank you once again for providing support, and we were able to reach more than 2000 subscribers within 20 days. That, in my opinion, is a good achievement, and everything happened because of all your support. And one more request, once again, I'm making is to provide your comments. Thank you. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.